Well, we'll go over all the matches here, but I think one of the things on this show was there were a lot of matches that, I mean, this tag team tournament, virtually every single match has been either bad or painfully average. You had
there's been nothing that stood out at all. You're right
you had the New Day match that felt like it went about 3 hours. You had the women's tag match, which felt like it went 3 hours. And these matches weren't even bad. They just felt like they went forever. By the time you got to that Kevin Owens match.
Yeah, that was because the crowd was dead, though. I mean, like, when you have... And it's weird because, again, you're in London, and there were times that the crowd was... There were times that the crowd was big, but, I mean, like, hot, but it was really just ring entrances. They were into the sing-along. They were into the ring entrances. Promos, you know, I mean, they got into booing Roman Reigns, for sure, but once the bell rang and they started wrestling, it was like they were just waiting for something else. And because they booked long wrestling matches, and they weren't that long. I mean, you know, like the length of the matches was, you know, the main event was a little longer than most of the main events, but not appreciably. But most of the other matches, you know, you're talking about, like the women's match was like 11 minutes, I believe. No, it was women. Yeah, it was 10 minutes. It's not really that long, but because, you know, when you got a dead crowd, everything, like, feels a lot longer than it really is, and that's what happened. It was very difficult to get that crowd to react to much of anything. I mean, even like Jericho and Sami Zayn were on first, and you had Sami Zayn, who's really popular, and they did better than most with the crowd. I mean, I guess they did better than anyone with the crowd, but even that wasn't really, you know, it wasn't really that good. I mean, Jericho always has a few standby things that almost always work, and they did work here. But they never got it to there was nothing close to a fever pitch, and yeah, and I think that they were having a pretty decent match, a pretty cool match, and no, so yeah, I think
maybe Chris Jericho pinning Sami Zayn was the beginning of the end for this crowd.
Well, but they were dead. They were dead until the end of that match too. I mean, I suppose. I mean, it wasn't probable, but. I think that the deal right now is that their idea of getting Sami Zayn over is to beat him a lot. So this just fits into that storyline. So that's probably why that decision was made. You know, and it can be done if you tell the. You know, the one thing is that he'll probably stay over to the hardcore crowd. Now, I mean, to the casual crowd, does this help him? It probably hurts him unless he gets this. You know, I mean, Daniel Bryan survived it. but there was a lot of, I mean, if he gets
The Rock survived bad comedy. Doesn't mean you should do it with anybody else.
I agree, but
not to mention, if you look at NXT and Sami Zayn's run there, I mean, yeah, Sami Zayn was an underdog, and it took him a long time to reach the pinnacle and win the title. But it's not like he did jobs on every show.
No. He won most of his matches, but he did always lose the big one for a while. That was the whole gimmick, is that he lost the big one. And Jericho was still, kind of like a protect. I don't say protected because nobody's really protected that well, but he's kind of a top guy, and he's also